Why? Let's get into business in the 217. The publisher of the Springfield Business Journal joins us as she does each and every Wednesday here on Springfield's Morning News to talk about what's going on in the business community. So greatly appreciate it to Michelle Ownbey, publisher of the SBJ. You guys are always busy there making things happen. So I appreciate you letting us know on what is going on in and around the business community. So let's get right on into it. What do we got top of mind here that you guys are reporting on?
Yes, good morning, Greg. I know if you're like me, everybody's probably getting back to work today, and between the power outages and the holiday, feeling a little discombobulated, maybe not even remembering what day it is. But yes, we are trying our best to stay on top of things. And one of the things we're talking about today is Brew House, kind of a mainstay downtown, has a new owner. They have temporarily closed, but hope to be back open soon. John O'Riordan, who owns Celtic Mist. He's had Celtic Mist for about 15 years and a variety of other business ventures in Sangamon and surrounding counties. And he purchased Brew House from Frank Westwood, who had owned it since about 2011. Of course, Brew House has been in operation since the early 90s, so it's a very familiar name downtown, but John says it could use a freshening up. So he's taking out the kitchen, converting it back to the original layout, and really just doing a lot of cosmetic updates. He says it's got a good atmosphere and a good vibe, and he hopes to be back open by the end of this month in time for the Down Home Music Festival. So we can look forward to a refreshed Brew House.
Well, I think that's fantastic, especially to keep businesses in local hands. So thumbs up to that, and good to hear more updates about businesses in the downtown area. Also, you've got legislation that advanced out of the State House dealing with tourism and improving some districts. What's going on there?
Yeah, this could potentially be huge for Springfield. Right at the end of the veto session, there was legislation passed at the state level that allows for the creation of tourism improvement districts, TID, not to be confused with the TIF district. So there's about 20 other states that already have this, and it allows supporting a variety of incentives and things related to tourism. So essentially, people that are staying in hotels, they'd see an extra $3 or $4 maybe tacked on to their room stay. Of course, it's always much more popular to tax the visitors than it is to tax the locals. But the idea is if Springfield were able to create a tourism improvement district, money could be raised to fund a pretty significant expansion of the BOS Center. And of course, that's been talked about for years, how to make us more competitive with Peoria and Bloomington and other nearby communities that have larger convention centers. So what they're looking at is potentially a $100 million project that would add about 120,000 additional square feet to the existing convention center. There's currently a county-owned parking lot immediately south of the BOS Center and just west of the county building. And so that parking lot could be developed into, a pretty significant addition to the convention center. So we talked with Scott Dull, the director of the Convention and Visitors Bureau, and he said just in his conversations with various community leaders, there seems to be some support. Nothing official yet, but definitely things in the works and conversations happening, and that could be huge for both the business community and Springfield as a whole.
Oh, no question. And I think that just merely having any resources go into tourism, it really does have a compounding effect in drawing people to restaurants and hotels and other sites in and around the area. So appreciate the heads up on that. We're talking with the publisher of the Springfield Business Journal, Michelle Ownbey, with Business in the 217. Something else that's on the docket here. What is the Illinois Supreme Court dealing with that could deal with impacting businesses in Illinois, especially when it comes to your face print or your fingerprint or whatever other biometrics there may be?
Yes, this has been a very hot topic lately, not just here in Illinois, but nationally. But in Illinois, we have the Biometric Information Privacy Act, and Illinois is one of the states that makes it illegal to collect somebody's biometric data, as you said, face print or fingerprint without consent. Of course, most of us have heard about these huge class action lawsuits recently, Facebook, Google Photos, Snapchat, all that. Maybe you've even gotten your little payout from them, but Illinois businesses are definitely very concerned. White Castle was recently hit with a $17 billion, that's billion with a B, not million, $17 billion settlement because the way the Illinois Supreme Court interpreted the law was, let's say an employee's coming to work and they're scanning their fingerprints a couple times a day as they clock in, clock out for their shift. The businesses are able to be penalized every single time that occurs. So the Illinois Senate Democrats put together some proposed revisions where it would be based on the number of employees rather than the number of scans, but they also looked at increasing the penalty per occurrence. And so several business groups, the Illinois Retail Merchants Association, the Manufacturers Association, and the Illinois Chamber of Commerce held a press conference at the end of last month and pretty much said that they were not okay with the proposed changes. So there's still a bit of a stalemate there as to how that's going to be resolved, but I think it's going to be a huge issue, especially for a lot of the larger businesses that routinely use biometric data.
No question. With no movement during the spring session, we'll see what happens with the fall veto session. Michelle Ownbey, publisher of the Springfield Business Journal. If people need to get their hands on it, which I suggest they do, how can they get a copy of the SBJ?
Well, you can get on our website at springfieldbusinessjournal.com and sign up to get it delivered directly to your home or office. Or if you're looking to pick up a copy of the issue that just came out, you can always stop by the racks on the Old State Capitol Plaza or Barnes & Noble and purchase single copies, because this is our 40 under 40 issue. So it's a pretty popular one, and a lot of folks looking to pick up a copy and see if any of their friends are in there.
Fantastic stuff. Greatly appreciated as always. Michelle Ownbey, publisher of the Springfield Business Journal. Be safe out there, and we'll talk again next week.
All right. Thanks, Greg.
It is Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WN.